Hello, I'm Jordan, and you're watching The Hidden Cup. Today we're at the Old Mill in Little Rock, Arkansas, which was famously featured in the movie Gone with the Wind. It seemed like a nice, tranquil place to sit down and film my next video, which is on the topic of using tarot as a pattern interrupt. So what do we mean by this? Well, as I mentioned in the last video, we all have a way of settling into routines and patterns where instead of taking a proactive approach to our lives, we instead proceed based on momentum, habit, routine, and also just a general reactive mindset where we're not thinking ahead and planning our lives with active participation in the full possibilities. So one of the things I found that tarot is very useful for, in addition to the standard divination purposes, is just establishing a point of reference to take the mind out of its existing perspectives. So you'll do a reading and you'll ask the cards what's going on in your life, and they'll point out things that you may have missed entirely. Now, this effect persists whether you believe that the tarot is actually a tool for divination or whether it's just random chance. I personally believe that there is more to the cards than random chance. In fact, there's deep layers of meaning and even actually perhaps a consciousness to the tarot itself. But even if you don't believe in that, you can still regard the cards as jumping off point, maybe mental prompts, archetypes that you can use to reflect on your own life, the patterns you're in, and ways that you might break out of them. So one example is this video series itself. I had never even considered starting a YouTube channel or filming myself talking about these esoteric topics. I have a lot of ideas and I do love talking, but I don't necessarily feel like I have anything to contribute to other people. I worry that kind of smacks of ego and vanity, and that I should instead focus on cultivating my own personal growth. That's what I would have continued doing indefinitely if left to my own devices. But I had a tarot reading last month from the wonderful Friday Gladheart, who I've mentioned in the past. And one of the things she mentioned was that I really do need to be putting myself out there. And she specifically brought up the idea of creating a vlog. And she said that the cards indicated that if I did this, I would probably be surprisingly successful for me by whatever metrics might qualify in that case. So, I was initially a little bit skeptical, but I gave it some thought, and I can see how this is a useful tool for both exploring my own ideas, better articulating them, and also maybe someone out there might be working through some of the things that I'm working on and may gain a measure of benefit from that. So thanks to the cards, I decided to create this channel, and now I'm filming content and I'm exploring ideas that otherwise I would probably have at least not explored publicly. So that's one concrete area that a tarot reading has actually broken me out of a rut and is encouraging me to think beyond the horizons of the routines that I had settled into. Another example, and this was one that had a profound impact on me, was just a simple single card reading with a shadow check. And this happened about a month ago when I was really struggling with a lot of things that were happening in the world, geopolitically, socially. Things are pretty crazy in America right now, as I think most of you are probably aware. So I did a single card pull with a Pamela Coleman Smith tarot, and I drew the Ten of Swords, which if you're familiar with tarot, you know that this is often a very difficult card for some people. It symbolizes rock bottom, everything kind of coming to a head all at once, a sense of total defeat. But there's also the subtext that the sun is about to start rising, that this is the worst things are going to get, and that you can start moving forward to a better stage of your life after that moment. Healing can begin, growth can begin. And with everything going on in the world, with all the things that I was focusing on, I looked at that card and I almost laughed. It's I think the only time I've ever kind of like scoffed at a tarot reading. I said, there's no way that things are going to get better. If anything, things that have happened recently are going to be the catalyst for things starting to get worse. And then I did a shadow check, which is for me checking the bottom card of the deck. I do this sometimes when I'm looking for a little more context. And what do I see but the star reversed? And what this signifies is a lack of hope and optimism, an inability to see the sun rising. And to me, that was the tarot just calling me out directly, saying, you know, I told you that things are going to get better, and here you are responding with disbelief and a lack of hope. So that really did stop me in my tracks. It got my attention, and the cards were right. I've really been struggling with cynicism and doubt for a very long time, especially when it comes to geopolitical events. So I decided to take that message to heart, and I spent the next couple weeks meditating on the star upright to try to, reverse my own heart and get myself back to a place of peace, optimism, and hope. And one of the things I did as part of that was I have a musical grimoire I've assembled of 22 songs that each, to me, embody the spirit and message of one of the major arcana. So I started listening to my star song, which is What It Sounds Like by Huntrix from the movie K-Pop Demon Hunters. Now, this may sound a little bit silly if you're not familiar with the song or the movie, but I can assure you that song is the embodiment of the star. When I first heard it, I cried. And, as I reflected on it more, I came to realize that sense of emotion that welled up every time I listened to that song was hope trying to break free. It was my heart longing to blossom and to move back into a state of optimism and belief in the goodness of the world. So for the next couple weeks, in addition to reading and meditating and reflecting on my life and the world, I listened to that song over and over and over again, really trying to internalize it, reflecting on how it made me feel, just meditating on that sense of rising light in my heart that it gave me, until finally I realized that I could listen to it without feeling that wellspring of emotion. And that's when I realized that I had at least healed adequately. And as I thought about it, and I thought about the world, it became clear that I was looking at things differently, that something had shifted, that I no longer had that cynicism, that fear, that doubt. Somehow I had come to believe that not only will the world get better, but also that I have something positive to contribute to that process. And, maybe these videos are part of it. Maybe it's just the way I'll be able to influence the people in my immediate circle in my own life by virtue of the changes I'm making here. I don't know, but I believe in myself again. I believe in the world again. And that is a change that I don't think would have happened, certainly not as quickly, if I had not turned to the tarot and asked it to show me what I needed to know. And more importantly, was receptive and open to the message that it was giving me. So that's something I encourage any of you out there who are struggling with anything in your life to work on. Just take a little bit of time to look inwardly, meditate on things that you may need to know, and the tarot can be a good tool for that. I just encourage you to do individual readings and reflect on what the cards can mean for you. And I guess that's it for today, but we'll be having more videos for the future, so thank you for watching.